qualifying effort today. Connor Jones starting third after the win last night. Second place in points, trails by 18 points to Michael Hind in the standings. That's a total of 9 positions because it's 2 points per spot. Mike Hopkins in the 15, great qualifying effort, starts fourth.
Let's take a look at row number 3. William Sawalich has been up at the front of the field each and every night, currently third in the World Series standings. He will start from the 5th position. Caden Honeycutt hopping in the 50 car tonight. He will start outside row 3. Dakota Stroop and Parker Chase back in row 4.
Starting in the 9th position is Hunter Wright in the 29 car. Corey Casagrande starting 10th in the 7. Jean-Philippe Bergeron has had a pretty decent week. 4th place in the standings, starts in the 11th spot in the 5B. And Dylan Stovall in the 24 will start outside of row number 6.
Augie Grill, how about that name? Haven't seen Augie throughout the course of the World Series. He's going to start 13th tonight in car number 147. Matthew Kingsbury in the 14th position, car number 9S. We've seen Matthew have some pretty solid runs this week. Tony Breidinger, fastest in practice for the ARCA Menard Series earlier this afternoon at Daytona International Speedway. She'll roll off from the 15th position. Tommy Neal in the 21 starts 16th.
Moving on to the 17th place starter, it's Tyler Johnson, the young teenage competitor in the 76. Dylan Ward in the 7W starting 18th. James Story in the 66 will start 19th. Rounding out the top 20 starters outside of row number 10, the 48 of Sam Falone, just kind of peeking up and out. And yes, he's on the racetrack with a lot of battle scars on that car. They keep putting it together, and they put a lot of work into that ride just to keep it on the racetrack.
As hard as that crew has worked, every other crew, with every other race car out there seems like they want to take it apart. Been a tough week for Sam Falone. Chase Williams, Jade Buford coming over. Jade, a NASCAR Xfinity Series regular. They will make up row 11. Kevin Folan and Mike Mayberry back in row 12.
Starting on the inside of row number 13 will be Darren Miller in the 30. Corey Hall in the 83 is not on the race. Yes, he is. He's starting pretty far in the field, but he's at the back of the pack tonight. And that's going to be a battle trying to get up front. And we've seen him have some great runs this week. Corey Hall and Jerry Artuzo rounding out our field in the 5A. 27 scheduled starters for this Pro Late Model event. Looking at the standings, Michael Hind leads by 18 over Connor Jones. William Sawalich is third in points in the 24. J.P. Bergeron fourth in points, and Dakota Stroop rounding out the top 5. You mentioned Augie Grill in the 147 driving a Stroop team car, getting a chance to race tonight. He's been helping Stroop work on those cars all week long.
Augie Grill, a name synonymous with stock car racing here in Central Florida. We'll be keeping a very close eye on car 147 here tonight. Also interesting to see the driver change on the number 50 car. Jet Noland had stacked up several top 10 runs earlier in the week. Caden Honeycutt sliding behind the wheel. Car number 50 here tonight. He'll start outside row 3. Lights off on the pace car. Adam, Michael Hind, Ryan Kruzek, bringing them to green.
Pick up the pace over in 3, race around the pace car in turn 4, and it's a good start for the point leader and pole sitter, Michael Hind in the 69. Connor Jones will try to come with him. What a great battle those two had for the lead last night. They congratulated each other after the race. Kruzek still working the high lane for third.
Connor Jones trying to pick up right where he left off last night, but Michael Hind wants nothing to do with that. He doesn't want to battle Connor Jones at all. Hind stretching the advantage out a couple of car lengths off of turn 2 this time around. Clean and green after one lap here at New Smyrna.
Michael Hind, his week has been a great win. One of the most impressive weeks for any driver in any class. A win on opening night. He finished third on the second night. A pair of firsts and then second. The worst he's done is that third place finish on the second night. He's been on the podium for every race with a few wins. We're watching for third, the 19 of Kruzek and the 24 of Sawalich.
Sawalich has had a phenomenal week so far, Adam. He has racked up several finishes among the top 5. 2 fifths, 2 fourths. His worst finish this week, a 9th, as we see the caution flag come out for the first time tonight.
Car number 12 with issues. Chase Williams coming down pit road. Damage on the right side of that car. Nice looking automobile, now showing some battle scars. Had one stopped at the bottom of turn 4 as well. You saw the field go by that car, the 69 of Hind. That's Kevin Folan's number 17.
Adam, looks like there's some damage to that right front corner. Don't know what may have happened over there, but tough break for both Chase Williams and Kevin Folan. Both of those drivers having some tough nights earlier in the week. Chase Williams, pair of 16th place finishes, his best, while Kevin Folan, pair of 14th place finishes.
There's the damage to the Chase Williams, number 12. He took a hit in the right side, got up against the wall clearly with that right side. The right rear also getting into the wall. You can see the exhaust has been crushed as well. A little bit of work to do on that number 12. The Weaver number 11, you see him right in front of the pace car. Also showing some damage. David Weaver, coming into this, had made 44 pro late model starts and 28 limited late model starts. Did finish second in a 2020 World Series race, but involved in the crash here. Some what looks to be mostly cosmetic damage on the front of the 11. 2 laps have been completed, 33 laps to go, and Michael Hine looked like he was going to try to go strong at the front of the field to try to pull away from Connor Jones. He doesn't want to be locked in a battle like he had last night with Jones.
And Jones really had a great car last night, but I think Michael Hine, if he was able to break away from Connor Jones, get by him and break away, I think he might have been able to put some distance on him. He doesn't want to even take that gamble tonight. He was really trying to stretch that advantage out here in the early going. And, of course, with 35 laps, a relatively short distance, don't really need to worry about tire conservation here too much. Michael Hine willing to extend that car just a touch here in the early going to try to put some distance on Connor Jones.
So Michael Hine, Connor Jones, Brian Kruzek, William Sawalich, and Mike Hopkins, the top 5 in the running order with our first yellow flag. So 1 car to clear down in turn 4. That's Kevin Folan's number 17. He has made just 2 starts this week. Has finished 13th and 14th tonight. Looks like it will be a DNS. Pro late models will be back in action tomorrow night for a 100-lap event. The heart-to-heart 100 for the pro lates. And that will be their final race of the week. They are not in competition on Saturday night.
Corey Hall, the 83 car, no time in qualifying earlier this afternoon, Adam, so he did have to start deep in the field.
And Folan's damage looks to be much like the damage we saw in the 12 of Williams. Very similar.
Yeah, interesting. Normally when you see 2 cars get together like that, one has kind of the opposite damage, but it looks like both of these cars got up into the outside wall, and actually a lot more damage to the wheels on Kevin Folan's car. He may have made some more serious contact with the outside wall.
I'm going to send it back down to Jacqueline Drake on pit road. Jacqueline?
We're down here with the number 12 of Chase Williams. From your point of view, what happened there on the back straightaway?
I'm not really sure what he was thinking there. I don't know. I was running pretty clean to start off here tonight, and I have the earlier this week as well, and drove down there, and he cut up into me in the wall, and that's that. I don't know. I don't understand why people got to be such a mess, you know, within the first couple of laps of the race. Just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. It's pretty unfortunate. Last night was a disaster as well. Just seems like nobody knows how to drive and run a nice, clean race. But his result ended up in a wrecked car as well. So if he's going to wreck me, well, he just wrecked himself. So whatever.
Bad break for Chase Williams, showing his frustration post-race. Kevin Folan and he, the 2 drivers that got up into the wall. Sounds like one of those deals where maybe the 17 just kind of closed the door, didn't know he was out there, and they both go up into the wall. Maybe not cleared by the spotter or cleared by the spotter one way or another.
And we've seen him numerous times this week, Adam, coming off of turn 2. The racetrack does kind of feel like it narrows up a little bit right there, and if you drift up, you push that guy. Even you may not even know he's out there, but you push him up into the outside wall and you collect yourself as well. Both of those drivers making a long tow to get down here. Chase Williams out of Yorkshire, New York, and Kevin Folan out of North Attleboro, Massachusetts. It's a long way to come to have a frustrating night here at the World Series.
33 laps to go. Cleanup just about finished up. They're working on maybe a little bit of liquid that was put down by the 17 when it sat at the bottom of the racetrack, which is in the racing groove on the exit of turn 4. First 2 laps have been completed. There's the spotters up on top of the roof. The spotters trying to drive their drivers or help their drivers and guide them to victory tonight, or at least out of trouble.
I know there's a couple of them that kind of wish they were down there driving sometimes. Some retired race car drivers up on the spotter stand. One thing we haven't seen too much of this week up on the spotter stand, Adam, short sleeves. It's a lot warmer tonight than it has been most other nights out here.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest places here, too. Very chilly up on the roof with the winds. But they have a little warmer conditions to deal with here tonight, much the same for tomorrow. Back to some cooler conditions on Saturday, but not as cool as what we saw on Monday when we were down in the 50s.
Pretty decent crowd on hand here tonight.
Tour Type Modifieds getting ready to go. They're going to be the next feature, and then the Super Late Models will be the final race of the night for our Thursday evening here at New Smyrna Speedway. We knew tonight would be down the not really one of the biggest shows of the week. Still exciting 4 divisions of racing, and then of course the racing going on over at the big track too. So splitting up the fans a little bit for this Thursday night. But this place will be packed tomorrow. 100 laps for the Richie Evans Memorial on a Friday evening. The Heart to Heart 100 for the Pro Lates tomorrow night as well. We've got the Pro Trucks joining us, the Vintage Cars joining us as well tomorrow night. So it's going to be a great Friday night. 7:30 race time tomorrow here at New Smyrna Speedway.
Lights out on the pace car. Connor Jones, Michael Hind. Ready to fire off from row 1. You're taking a break from watching the duels. Welcome to Flow Racing. Night number 7 here at New Smyrna Speedway. Going back green in our 35-lap Pro Late Model feature.
The top 2, nearly a crash at the front of the field as Michael Hind was sideways coming down the front stretch. Connor Jones and Michael Hind leaning on each other through 1 and 2. Hind's going to have the advantage going into turn 3. They'll complete lap 3 this time. Jones drives it in deep, pulls back up alongside for the lead.
Boy, good drive into turn 3 there for Connor Jones. Those two came together coming to the green, and they haven't separated much. No more than 6 inches apart that entire lap, and some smoke. Those cars bumping off of turn 2. Great racing for the lead.
Top 2 side by side. It's the 44 of Jones pulling ahead. Here comes the 69 back to the outside in Hind. He beats him back to the stripe again. He would love to clear this 44 car, but as we watch them race, the 9 of Kingsbury has gone around in turn 4, brings out the yellow flag. So caution for Matthew Kingsbury. So we get another lap in. 3 down now in this Pro Late Model feature.
Boy, that was some intense action up at the front of the pack there, Adam, and that was exactly what we saw here last night. These 2 drivers, Michael Hind, Connor Jones, neither asking quarter on the racetrack, neither giving quarter on the racetrack. What an intense battle for the lead, and neither of these 2 drivers wants to finish second here tonight.
So Michael Hind, for the driver of the 69, fortunate for him, he had a little nose ahead both times they crossed the stripe. Once we went back to green, middle of the screen, the 9 of Kingsbury just lost momentum, and that could have been a lot worse. The 93 of Tom did a great job to get around.
Yeah, it looks like the 9 car of Kingsbury, like you said, Adam, lost momentum. Tony Baradiger really didn't have anywhere to go right there. And Austin Tom doing a great job making an evasive move right there. That could have been a big-time crash.
Yeah, the 9 loses power and started to turn left to make pit road, and the 80 had nowhere to go. And the cars behind did a great job, especially the 93 of Austin Tom.
Austin's had an up-and-down week. Saw him get involved in a big crash. Those are the tire track sport right there at the bottom of the front straightaway there. Big crash a couple of nights ago that took out a couple of other drivers, but he has recovered. He had a pretty solid night going so far tonight. Just inside the top 20.
Race leader is Michael Hind under yellow for the second time here in the early going of this 35-lap Pro Late Model feature. We'll be back with a restart after this on Flow Racing. Pro late model still rolling under yellow. But I think we're going to see the one to go this time. The field will double up, and we're going to see a continued battle. I have a feeling, Charlie, maybe for this whole race between Michael Hind and Connor Jones, our top two in points, our top two in the race last night. A three-time winner in Hind this week. Jones has picked up just one this week, and that was last night. But he has a couple second-place finishes. So it's been a story about those two drivers all week long.
We saw some tire marks added to the left side of the 44 car last night. If you get a look at the right side, he's got some matching donuts on the door of that 44 car. They cleaned the ones off the left side last night. But Connor Jones using the bodywork of that car up very well here throughout the course of the last couple of nights. Pace car, pull it away, Adam. We are coming back green with 32 laps yet to go.
3 completed. The leader is the 69 of Michael Hind, the point leader as well. But Connor Jones, as they go 3 wide with the pace car over there in turn 4, it's going to be Hind taking the advantage. They bumped a little bit. This allows him to clear the 44. The 44 nudges him a little bit in turn 2. Contact made. Scary moment down the backstretch. They continue in the right direction, racing each other a little bit rough here for this early in the going.
Ooh, right there. William Sawalich getting into the left rear of Connor Jones. Everybody keeping it pointed straight. Wow, close call down there in turn 3. Everybody keeping it going.
Top spot battle again, and it's also 3 wide behind him. There's Dakota Stroop on the outside groove, right side of the screen, trying to pick up spots. Connor Jones and Michael Hind going at it, and here comes the 50 of Caden Honeycutt.
Sawalich dropping off the pace. He's going to stack the field up behind that battle for the lead. Everybody doing a good job to get around the 24 car off the pace. But meanwhile, the battle for the lead continuing on. Michael Hind getting some help from Caden Honeycutt down the backstretch, but the caution light's coming out for that car right there. Tough break for William Sawalich.
William Sawalich came into the night as one of our point contenders. 3rd place in the standings, but the 24 has come to a stop. Losing power. The rookie for the World Series, Carolina Pro Late Model winner. Had all top 10s leading into this race, including 4 top 5s, but tonight, not likely to happen. We did get a report from Jacqueline Drake that the 9 of Kingsbury, who kind of stalled down in 3 and 4 and caused the spin a little while ago, throttle came apart. So they brought it down pit road and worked to repair it to get the 9 back out on the racetrack. So Sawalich gets his car refired, and now he's moving again. See if he comes to pit road.
I'll tell you what, Adam, if you're going to have an issue with the throttle cable, I mean, you hate to have any issue at all, but it coming loose, probably better than it hanging up. That would be a disaster here at New Smyrna with these long straightaways. A lot of momentum. So tough break for Matthew Kingsbury. Equally tough break for this guy. William Sawalich was having a pretty solid run yet tonight, looking for another top 5. He's had 4 top 5 finishes already this week, looking for his first finish higher than 4th, and like you said, it's going to be a tough chore tonight coming from the back as the crew goes to the right side.
Almost like he stopped on the front straightaway because he felt something was wrong with the car. He was then, once the yellow came out, comes down pit road to go to the attention of the team. So Sawalich, they jack up the right side of the car. Working on that right front.
Looks like they were working on the air box for the radiator down there, Adam. He may have rumpled up that nose in a stack up, cut off the airflow to that radiator, and dealing with some overheating issues. Check out this new look lineup at the front of the field. We're going to have Michael Hind up on the front row. First time we've seen Caden Honeycutt in that 50 car this close to the front this week as well.
Yeah, the Jet Motorsports team with their best showing here tonight. Jet Nolan was struggling a little bit earlier in the week. I believe he's here in competition tonight. The 69 of Michael Hind chooses the outside, and that gives him maybe a little bit of clearance with the 44 of Jones being back in 3rd.
A little bit of breathing room over Connor Jones. As we go back green racing, let's see what happens here down in turn 1. Caden Honeycutt now, he's going to get sideways after bouncing off of Michael Hind. We're going to stack him up 3 wide. J.P. Bergeron to the top, Connor Jones to the bottom. Give that spot to Jones in 3.
Stroop also trying to make his way through the field. Augie Grill in the team car there right behind him. That's Stroop that was sideways. Here comes Kruzek to the inside lane. We don't know where to look. There's so much action on the racetrack right now. It's almost like an accident waiting to happen. You hope it doesn't. But it's crazy racing in the first 6 laps of this Pro Late Model feature. Leading the way is Michael Hind, Connor Jones in 2nd, and 3rd spot, Caden Honeycutt.
Good run going for Hunter Wright in the 29 car. That car has been banged up a couple of times this week. Good hard work by the crew getting him back out onto the racetrack. He's looking to battle his way back up into the top 5 as looks like the Corey Casagrande car bouncing off the outside wall. And just as I shouted out Hunter Wright, problems for the 29.
So Wright started to close the door on Casagrande. The 7 of Casagrande made slight contact. He jumped on the binders to avoid what would have been a big crash. So heads up driving by Casagrande there. At the same time, Hunter Wright pulls into the pits, maybe because he felt something go wrong on the right side of the car because of the contact from Casagrande. But the 29 of Hunter Wright did come pit side as we watch the action continue. Next time around, it'll be 10 laps in and 25 to go.
Parker Chase drifting up the racetrack a little bit, getting into the Dylan Stovall car. And here comes Corey Hall. Great run for the back of the pack for the driver of the number 83 automobile.
Yeah, Hall started deep in the field, unable to qualify earlier on the inside lane. Thinking about 3 wide. Chase will go into the corner, up the track a little bit. 24 there as well. 3-car battle there for what is the 10th position on the racetrack.
Good battle for the 10th position. Good battle on the top left of the screen as well. That's the battle for 5th. Dakota Stroop trying his best to keep Mike Hopkins at bay. Brian Kruzek in that mix as well. Good racing all throughout the top 10.
Hopkins moves into the 5th spot. Stroop dropping to 6th, maybe to 7th as Kruzek makes that run to the inside. It was a great qualifying effort earlier for the 19 of Kruzek, making the invert. Started in the 2nd spot, has fallen back a little bit, but now kind of getting back into the flow. You see the 2 Stroop Racing Team cars pretty close in proximity. That's Dakota Stroop on the outside of Kruzek holding on to the 6th spot. And Augie Grill, the veteran driver, just right behind him in 8th.
Gotta love the 1 on the side of the 147 car put on there with duct tape. Just like the old days. Love it. Those 2 Stroop Racing Teams automobiles. Nose to tail down the backstretch. Good run by Brian Kruzek there. Remember, he was involved in an incident last time these cars were on racetrack, so good recovery of the driver of the number 19 car.
Going to complete lap number 15 the next time they go across the stripe. 20 laps will be left remaining in this race. The leader is Michael Hind, and it's a 7/10 of a second lead. He's actually added a little bit to it over Connor Jones. He is hoping in that car that there is not a yellow flag because he does not want to contend with that 44 of Jones again. Their battles have been heated the last 2 nights.
Epic racing between Michael Hind and Connor Jones last night and tonight.